Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today I'm going to share with you three more cards from the new release at the Not Too Shabby shop. And I've already showed you the first one, which was the Springtime Buddies, and that was the Hello card. So these are the other three stamp sets in the stamp sets that were released recently. And we're going to start here with Picnic Fun. I'm going to do like an invitation style card. It's an A2 size card base. The You're Invited is a Doris set that I have in my stash. Here is the paper pad. I'm going to be using the Doodlebug farm, I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's the farm paper. And I've already colored up all my images, fussy cut everything out. I've used paper piecing on the umbrella because I thought it would look really adorable. And I've cut out basically just some pattern papers and cardstock to layer up on the front of my card. And this is, I think this was a card sketch from my Pinterest. So it's just a couple flags, and those are the Gina Marie flag dies that I have from my stash. And then just placing a little strip behind it, and these are all papers from the paper pack. So I'm just going to layer up all of my flags in my little strip here, and then I will start creating the scene kind of in the middle of the flags. So I've got the You're Invited. It actually says You Are Invited, but I cut off the A and turned it into the little punctuation mark that goes in between because it fit better around the top and bottom of my picnic table. So now I'm going to glue those down. I'm going to pop up the picnic table kind of right in the middle, and then glue the You're Invited kind of around the top and the bottom of the picnic table so that I can create a scene right in the middle. And this is such bright, pretty paper. It was, I picked my colors based off my paper packs, so this was super fun to color because it had such awesome colors in the paper. I love Doodlebug paper anyway. I just think that it's so bright and kind of cheery, so I thought it looked really good with this little fun summer set here. So now I'm just going to pop up all the pieces in my scene. So I've popped up the little chick with the pie, picnic basket. I've got two sets of apples that are going to go in here, and then another pie on the table. And then on the inside is where we're going to place the little bear right there that has the picnic basket. All of my images were colored with my Spectrum Noirs. I've kind of switched over to Spectrum Noirs from the Copics because I really just can't afford to replace my Copics right now, so I'm using my Spectrum Noirs. I think they are perfectly fine for these kind of, I don't see, I mean, I understand that the Copics are a little bit brighter, more vibrant color, but I think you can still do a really good job with Spectrum, so I'm happy with them. Here's a couple of close-ups. There's the inside. And now we're going to move on to Summertime Buddies. So Summertime Buddies is going to be a fun fold card. And I will get into everything about sizes and whatnot after we make the sand. But I'm going to create a scene here. So this is going to be a landscape style card. So you're going to be cutting an A2 size card base in landscape, but side folding. And then you're going to need two panels on the inside to create a scene on the inside, a 1x11 strip of cardstock, 2x4, 2x2 pattern paper and you can do the backs or not, it's up to you, and then your front panel. But first, before we even start on the card, we're going to very quickly make sand. So here I've got some Nina Desert Storm, and then these are just everything that I'm going to use to just splatter my paper. I'm not going to make you sit through all of the splattering because it does take a little bit of time, and it's basically all it is layering. Just pick colors that you like, stuff that you think is all going to look good together. I've got my little stamp block here. I've got a brush because sometimes I flick to make smaller splatters on it, and then sometimes I dab. And then sometimes I even take it and I just put actual dabs in places where I really want to make sure that I get bigger chunks. So now I'm just using different browns. I've got some whites, and then I've got I think it's called Pavement or something like that. It's like a really dark gray, and that's what I finish it off with, just kind of bring out just that little bit of extra color to it. And then once that's dry, I'm going to cut it all down into sand. So it's just different layers of sand, and we're going to do both inside and outside. So you're going to take this little 1x11 inch strip of cardstock, and you're going to fold it in half, and then you're going to fold each one of the halves back on itself, so it's going to make kind of like an M shape or W shape, depending on which way you want to hold it. But this is what it's going to look like. And then we're going to attach this to the inside of our card base. So after you've placed down your pattern papers as your background, so I picked something that kind of looked like the water. Now I am just going to place these down. Now you can put it in the middle or towards the bottom. I chose kind of more towards the bottom, but you can do it in the middle as well. And you're just going to only place tape on the two ends. You're going to line them up to be just inside of the edges of the inner part of your card, and that's what it's going to look like. So once you have that all put together, then you're going to start working on your 2x2 panels. Like I said, there's 4 of them, and I backed them on some white cardstock, which is just slightly larger than the 2x2 squares. I placed my sand at the bottom of each one because I'm going to have a little scene on the inside. So you can see there, it's another, I want to say it's a pink and Maine little speech bubble right there. It's probably a pink and Maine since it is pink, but I'm not 100% sure about that. And I put some of the sentiments inside of the little speech bubbles, and now I'm just creating little scenes on each one of the little 2x2 cards. Now there's little faces, the little cute little face stamp in there, so I'm going to put those on everything because I want all of my little characters here to have cute faces on them. And then I'm going to place down each one of the 2x2 squares on the inside here. So each one of those sections is going to have a square right in the middle of it. So I'm just going to place tape right in the middle of each one of these sections. I thought maybe I might want to make it a little bit crooked, and then I changed my mind. I decided everything's going to be straight. So middle of the sandcastle. I did have to go back and stamp and color a few more things for the front of the card because I ended up wanting to have another sandcastle on the front of the card as well, so I did do that. Even though it's not here in front of you now, you'll see it at the end. So now we're going to put together the front. Now I have this little die here that cuts out actual like slits that look like waves in the paper, so I used that, and that's a lawn fawn die. And now I'm going to pop up the sun in the corner, and then I'll show you here after we put the sand. No, actually, I think I put them in first before I put the sand down. I kind of tuck them inside of each one of the little waves here, and you'll see because it creates those little wave slits in the paper, it makes it really easy for you to kind of tuck them inside the waves so it looks like they're in the water. I thought that would be like a cute little thing for the front. Now I'm going to place the cat. And then I did lose a little bit of footage on this one when it came to finishing up the front. I don't know what happened to it. So I placed down the sand, and then I started to place down my characters that I wanted in the sand and my sentiment. And then I lost, because I went to go and cut and color the sandcastle, and for some reason everything I got lost from there. So you can see here that I did add some more waves to the background behind the sand just to give it a little bit more dimension in there. I placed my sentiment, I've got a couple water droplets on there and everything else. So that will finish off this card. It's really quite easy to do. It was just a matter of layering up the front, and that's it. Here's a couple close-ups of this one. The floating by to say hi, and then here's the inside. I think it came out really cute. Now for this card, which is the last card, I'm going to be using the Tea Time Buddies and also the LDRS Slimline Scalloped die. And so I've cut out my card base, I've cut out pattern paper and the scallop, and I'm just placing them down. And this is what I decided to do for this one. So you can just watch me put them down. It's nothing, I'm not doing anything super exciting here. But what I did was I wanted to do a, where I do the, what's it called? Oh my gosh, why can't I think of it? The one layer card. So I tried to do the masking and to do the cups all the way up, the way that I'm placing them. You'll see the way that I have it. And I failed miserably. I'm so bad at it. So what I decided to do was to stamp and cut, fussy cut, color every single piece individually. And now I am popping each one of them up with a little bit of fun foam to give it just a little bit of dimension. When I cut each one of the little cups, I made sure to trim out inside the handles and to make a slit at the top so that each one of the sets of cups could tuck inside of the other one. And now I'm just building like a little tower of teacups, and then at the very top will be the little mouse. I placed one of the sets of macaroons in the back, and then I'll place one in the front, and also the rest of the stamps that are in the stamp set. So I've got the little stick there, and the tea bag will also be placed in my scene here. I thought this was just so cute. It just kind of reminded me of Alice in Wonderland, the tea party with the mouse. I don't know. It just reminded me of that. So, and using the slimline die, it was just kind of obvious to me that I was just going to make this giant stack of teacups. So I'm going to place the little stick inside of one of the cups. And then for the tea bag, what I decided to do is kind of hang it using some baker's twine. It's a orange and white baker's twine. I'm just going to hang it from one of the teacup handles. And now all I need is my sentiments, and then I'm completed. This card is complete. So we've got the tea time, and then to my bestie, and I'm backing it on the paper. And finishing touches, I put some sparkly enamel dots on here, just 3 of them in a couple of colors that went pretty well. I've got a ton of enamel dots. I hoard them. I'm very, very, very sparing with them, but I really do have a lot, so I probably could use a lot more than I do. And that's going to complete this card. So I hope you guys liked my projects today for the rest of the new release for the Not Too Shabby shop. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you again real soon with some more projects from Not Too Shabby. Have a great day. Bye-bye.